All right, everybody, we are welcoming to the show the band Theody. We've got Luaren on the phone. She's the vocalist. We got Chad is not there, so I've heard. I don't know. He may sneak in later. We got Charles, the bass player, and Isaac. He's kind of beamed in from afar because he's in another state because, well, it's 2018 and you can do stuff like this. And so we're all together. We're hanging out. So Theody, it's great to have you guys on the show.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, for sure. You guys have one of those interesting distinctions of being one of those bands that I always hear about from other bands, which I think is a good thing overall, because it never fails. I'll be talking to somebody and they'll be like, yeah, we got a tour coming up. We're going out with these guys called Theody. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, and the first couple times I'm like, I think I've heard that before. Who are these guys? And then finally, I don't remember where it came up, but somehow I saw you guys like on Facebook or what. And I'm like, I need to figure out why I do not have their music and why it's not on my show. And so then I think I sent an email to Charles. I'm like, hey, what's the deal? I was like, I know you guys aren't like charting on the Christian rock charts right now, and I don't know if that's by choice or not, but ultimately it seems like a couple of stations are playing your music. I've listened to it. It's good. Send me some stuff. So you guys did, and I played a couple of songs from you guys, and I've never regretted it. It's good stuff, and I don't know why it's not doing better. So all you stations out there listening, get after it. Theody, good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So real quick, of course, let's get the ever burdening question off the plate, because I know that you guys must get asked this every single stinking interview. So I don't want to be different. Explain the name Theody.
It is a word that means a hymn praising God. And we were looking for a while for a band name when we were starting. And it came down to me just like, we kind of wanted something that was simple. One word would be great. And so I was going through a list of unusual words online, and yeah, it was a very long list, and T is at the lower end of the alphabet, but I finally made it down that way, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And I like the meaning of it, and everybody else agreed. So it stuck. Nice. It wasn't already taken. That was another thing, because there were a couple things that we liked, but they were already taken. So
yeah, that gets muddy when that happens. That's just a pity. So now, did you guys have any other contenders that you ended up passing on for no other reason than just you felt like Theody was better?
Not really.
No,
nothing
really.
That everybody just like really loved. So
okay,
yeah.
Cool. Well, and this is something that as a radio person, I might be the only person who might think to ask this, but it's just because I'm used to having to deal with this as an ever pressing problem. But have you ever gotten any really interesting mispronunciations of your name?
Okay. Yes. We get so many interesting mispronunciations. I can't even pronounce pronunciation.
That was great.
We get so many mispronunciations that we have the pronunciation on a shirt that we sell at our shows.
Oh, that is awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just used to it now, so it doesn't really bother us.
We've had
Theody is the biggest one.
or the Audi.
Yeah,
we had
then it just gets more and more.
Just ridiculous.
Ridiculous after that. So, yeah.
Well, you know, and it's funny because I mean, everyone does it, and it's, you know, after a while, stuff like that, because it just hopefully becomes part of the vernacular to where everyone knows. But I remember I was working at a top 40 radio station when Rihanna first became a big deal, and I mispronounced her name for like several months until finally someone was like, I finally heard her say it and we're saying it wrong. I'm like, oh no. So yeah, life is fun that way. Well, anyway, I'm glad that I got it right. Anyway, that makes me feel better, because I have nothing better than being like, oh, what morons! They said the Theody. Darn it. That's no good. But anyway, well, since this is your first time on the show, give us a little bit of backstory on the band, kind of how you guys got together, got started, all that good stuff.
I've been playing music for a long time, and so Charlie and I are married. And before we got married, I was in a band, and then that just kind of dissolved. But after we had been married about a year, he was encouraging me to continue playing because I was still writing music, and I hadn't been doing anything live by myself. And so he was encouraging me to do that, and I booked a solo gig but it was at a festival, and the guy that was putting it on was like, hey, I think it would be better if you could find some people to play with you, just so you're not like the only solo artist at this thing. And I was like, okay. So I found some friends, and they were willing to learn my songs, and that show went really well, and we all had a good time, and they said that they wanted to continue playing. We got offered a few other gigs, and so we just decided to keep it going. And we didn't really have plans to make it like something serious at first, but it just kind of ended up being that way. God kept opening doors, and so here we are.
Okay, cool. Well, now you mentioned that you initially got some friends together to back you up, so when did Charles get involved?
So
sorry.
Yeah, he wasn't part of that first show because he didn't play anything.
I thought I was kidding.
No, for real. But after we decided we wanted to keep playing, the guy that was playing bass at for those first few shows, he was first a guitarist, and so he switched to guitar, and Charlie picked up the bass. And so that's how he joined. Yeah. He learned how to play the bass to play our songs. So
okay. Gotcha. Yeah. And Isaac, I'm guessing that you are a fairly recent addition to the band, because I'm guessing you're the poor schmuck who didn't end up in the band photos.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, sort of. We just haven't got to that yet. But
okay.
That's next on our to-do list.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Cool. Are you asking my story?
Sure, go for it. Since they're kind of a package deal. I mean, we've kind of covered that now, but yeah, how'd you get involved?
Right. So I might have Charles and Luaren go tandem on this with me, but I had been doing music for several years, had a couple of different projects going on. I was the front man for my group, Dream Collage, out of Salt Lake City, Utah.
Okay.
And had that going for a couple of years, and I actually ended up meeting Charles and Luaren. Would have been back in 2016, the summer of 2016, and we had touring nationally that entire summer, as well as the next summer, the following summer, 2017, and the Theody and my band actually we ended up playing quite a few shows together on those tours throughout the West and whatnot. My family and I just recently moved back to the Midwest, back to Illinois, where we are originally from, where we grew up. It was kind of one thing led to another over Facebook Messenger, thank you, Facebook, I guess. And the timing was spot on for both of us, because things that kind of dissolved with my project. And so it was basically, I found myself without a band, and they were in need of a guitarist at the same time. And we had built a fairly good relationship, and so it just kind of made sense. It was just kind of like, hey, let's give this a shot. It was, I don't know, the puzzle pieces fit together at the right time, basically.
Cool.
So I started out as a fill-in guitarist, quote unquote fill-in, and for basically the whole month of June, just this past summer. So everything is very, very, very recent.
Okay.
And then what was it, in July we made an official announcement? Is that right?
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And so, everything's very, very recent, and but I'm feeling really confident in my decision, and hopefully they are too. And
no regret.
Yeah. So we're excited. It's a new chapter for me. It's a new chapter for Theody. And so we're excited to see what's going to happen in the future, and writing, touring.
Cool. Sounds
and everything
good.
else that comes along with being in a band.
Nice. Well, cool. Well, I'm glad you're aboard, my friend. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Part of the reason why we're talking right now is because we've been playing the song Reignite, which is off your most recent EP. Tell us a little bit about that song and kind of what went into it and meaning behind it. Anything that you think that's interesting about it that listeners might want to know.
That song was written, when were we writing? 2006 to 2017. Yeah. We were starting to write for future stuff, and it was a time where we had been going through a lot of change and challenges, and I just kind of felt like we needed a song that was going to be encouraging and reminding us why we're even doing this in the first place, because there were so many times when we just were like, I think maybe this isn't worth it, and maybe we just need to throw in the towel, like how much are we willing to pour into this, and yeah, we needed a song that was going to remind us our purpose and our passion. And so that's kind of how that song was born.
Interesting. That's cool. And I like kind of the way you put that, is the kind of searching for the why are we doing this? Because ironically enough, at church, one of the final points that our preacher made was kind of something I never really thought about before, which was the idea of searching for the why in whatever it is that you're doing, and how a lot of times that can make a huge difference, and not thinking about what you do, because that's what we always ask people. It's like, oh yeah, your name's, Jack. That's awesome. What do you do? We don't ask, okay, why do you do that? And it's something that most of us don't think about of our own stuff, much less of other people's. And I think that he kind of made a good point in that it's like, well, it's like if we thought about that more, maybe we would find more purpose in life, or at very least appreciate the thing that we're doing, because maybe we aren't thinking about the why we're doing it anymore, and it's just a thing to do. And I thought that was interesting.
Exactly.
Very cool. So now I know that, Isaac, this probably won't pertain as much to you as it does to Luaren and Charles, but what was the experience like putting together the Prelude EP? Because I know it's not that gosh awful old, but what was that experience like?
Goodness.
Oh boy, I can tell this is going to get good.
Think back.
So, see, now usually when somebody gives me a reaction like that, they're like, who am I not going to throw under the bus for this one?
No. There's nothing bad. I'm just trying to collect my thoughts. So the whole album was kind of inspired by a sermon series that we were doing at our church. We were going through the book of Habakkuk. And the themes that they were pulling from that book were struggle, waiting, and hope. And so I was just kind of digging into that a lot as I was writing lyrics and stuff for the new project. We weren't sure what it was going to look like, but we settled on doing a 5-song EP for multiple reasons. I mean, it's expensive to record and put together music and everything. Sure. So that was helpful. But then also I felt like it would be easier to embody that kind of topic and those themes if it was just 5 songs rather than trying to stretch it over, 10 or 12.
Sure. Yeah.
So it ended up being an EP, and I'm pretty happy with how it came out. Just the theme, it kind of progresses. It starts out pretty dark and discouraging, and then as you move through it, you start to see that hope at the end of the tunnel, kind of thing. So
okay, all right, nice, cool. Yeah. So what are the plans from here? I mean, obviously going into the studio is an expensive proposition. It's never cheap unless you just so happen to be so lucky enough to where one of your band members has a studio and time and all that good stuff. But what is the future looking like for new music from you guys at this point?
Honestly, we haven't thought that far ahead yet.
Okay.
We've been focusing on getting more organized, and since adding Isaac to our group, just kind of, what all of that looks like and what things we need to focus on. Our EP dropped in April, so it's not that old, but right. We do want to start thinking about writing for future stuff, because it takes time to put out something that you're proud of and sure of. So, we're going to have to figure out what our new routine is and what system is going to work for writing. Because I definitely want Isaac to be a part of the new stuff. So we're just going to have to figure out how we work best together. Okay. And we have like some basic equipment and, enough knowledge to be able to throw demos together at least, back and forth and stuff since he's so far away. Cool. So it'll be interesting. I'm excited for it, but we're just going to have to figure it out.
All right. Sounds good. Well, now I kind of kept an eye on y'all's Facebook page, especially over the summer, and it looked like you guys had gotten a pretty decent amount of opportunities to play out over the summer at a few festivals and whatnot. How do you feel like all that went?
We love it. We wish we could do more. It's just been challenging for one reason or another. But festivals, we played Chains Unchained.
Kingdom
Come, yeah, and they're always a blast. It's fun to see, see fans, meet fans, but also see other bands that we've known for a while and kind of catch up with them. So festivals are fun for that.
Big reward for me personally is just building relationships. Building those friendships, hearing people's stories. Because you really think about it, you're only on the stage for 30 minutes. I mean, you do all of that prep, all that rehearsal, loading up your gear, all the setup, for a 30-minute set, and you kind of look at it from that perspective, and it's like, dude, I think musicians are sometimes borderline insane, But when you get to build those relationships and love on people and hear people's stories, and look them in the eye, shake their hand, and spend time, after the show, before the show, like that. I mean, that's just as rewarding as being able to, spend 30 minutes up on stage playing, So
absolutely,
yeah, for sure.
That's cool. I like that. And I think that does add a level of purpose to things that otherwise would not be there. And it makes it make more sense because heaven knows rock and roll doesn't pay what it used to. Even Christian rock and roll doesn't pay what it used to. Although now I really want to start singing that new song by Islander talking about rock and roll don't pay what it used to. But
Charlie's dying now because you referenced that.
Favorite song right now.
Aha. Yes. Well, see, I loved Islander's first couple of releases, and then like the Darkness EP or the Darkness album just kind of lost me for whatever reason, and it was okay, but it didn't strike me the same way. And then some of the new stuff coming out is starting to grab me again. But then Mikey from Islander was on the 1177 podcast, 11 Life, and so then I was like, oh yeah, I haven't listened to them in a while. I need to go back and listen again. So so I just listened to that within the last 24 hours. It's a great jam. It's a short jam. I wish it was longer, but it's a fun song though. It's fun stuff. And my favorite thing about his interview though, he's like, some of our diehard fans are like, dude, you wrote a song about food. He's like, no, it isn't. I'm just saying that this stinks because you work so hard on stuff that you hope people like, but you still make basically nothing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like sushi isn't meant to be like a grand luxury. It's just like that's just all I want. I'm not asking for much. So yeah. Well, I'm glad that we can connect on that level. That's good. That's good stuff. It's funny though because you mentioned that, and if this is you guys, my apologies in advance. But I always think one of the funniest things about doing the show and interviewing Christian bands is it always feels like they have a lot of great things to say about band members and other Christian bands, and they love talking about touring with other Christian bands, but they never listen to other Christian bands. They're like, yeah, they're great. They're great friends. They're great people. We love their love for the Lord. What do you listen to? Metallica. like, okay, all right, that's fine. It's like, whatever. It's you do what you got to do. Get your inspiration where you need to, I suppose. But that's it's just so weird to me. But that's okay. That's all right. Everybody's got their own choices to make in life. Well, what are the touring plans for the future at this point?
Well, right now we've got we're working on like a week or two at the end of October.
Okay.
October going into November. We've got like Mississippi and Kansas City, and then I think a Chicago date and Indianapolis. We're trying to extend it and try to make it a full week and a half or so.
Okay.
And then as far as past that, I think just because of how difficult it is to book right now, we're probably going to take a break until the next year.
Sure. Yeah.
And see what comes. We do have shows booked out next year, different festivals and stuff already.
Okay, that's good.
Going from March and April and even June, I think.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of booking around those and just getting all our schedule filled up.
All right, sounds good. Now is that gonna all be with Fight the Fate, or is that just like one of those dates?
I think it's just one of those dates.
Okay.
That first date, they were added just recently to that one date. They're really good friends of ours. We absolutely love those guys, and we haven't played with them in a long time. It's been 3 or 4 years, I think.
Okay, well, I want you guys to do me a favor. When you see them, give them my phone number and tell them that they need to call me, because I've been trying to get them on the show for like the last 2 years and I never feel like it ever works out. And I think their music's good. I don't know why it doesn't make it to radio better. Probably for the same reasons that you guys do. It's just like this weird mystery thing. But nonetheless, I think that they should get more play and attention as well. But I can never get them to get on the show. So harass them just enough to make them want to get on the show, and then we'll make it.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm actually going to Germany with them on that 2-week run they've got. So so I've got 2 weeks to bug them about it.
Okay, perfect. Just be like, hey, have you called Paul yet? Huh? Have you called Paul yet? And Paul's a cool guy. You should call Paul. He's funny. He likes Islander. You should call him.
You can tell them as they're sleeping and kind of
subliminal messages
while they're sleeping.
Maybe I'll just send you some imaging from the show just randomly. He'll hear bits of the Christian Ride 20 just like emitting from your phone. He'll be like, what are you doing? Like, nothing. You want to do an interview? Oh, that'd be great. Oh man. Well, cool, guys. I've got some non-serious stuff to ask you about. Not since we've been so gravely, solemn for the rest of the interview. But is there anything else that you guys just want to add that we haven't covered that you want people to know about or look forward to, or any of that sort of stuff?
Well, I don't know when this is going to be released, but we just scheduled a. Let's start that one over.
Sure.
I don't know when this is coming out, but at the Chains and Chain Festival, we filmed a live performance music video for Travesty.
Okay, cool.
And we just got that final back, and it'll be posted tomorrow, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it'll be live.
So it'll probably be live by the time you hear this.
Sweet deal. Well, in the spirit of that, can we play that as a second song to go along with this interview?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah. We'll do that then. Awesome. Fantastic. That gets another question I was going to ask you out of the way. So that was a perfect segue. I like that. Cool. Well, I'm trying to make some things just kind of more fun and goofy in my interviews, because I think too often I get bogged down in just kind of let's talk about the new record. Let's talk about the song. Let's talk about touring, which is all important stuff. I think fans want to know about that. But at the same time, I love to see what else bands kind of have up their sleeve. So something else that I tried last week, which I was very relieved went pretty well with Michael from Red, was I wanted to see how well he knew his fans. So what I've got here is, with that, don't look at this because that would be cheating, but I'm looking at Apple Music, and of course they much like Spotify have the most popular songs by any given band. And when you first pull it up, you can see all your records, you can see the latest release, but then it shows immediately the top 6 songs for you guys as a band. So I want to see if you can name those 6 songs. And there's no number of times you can get it wrong before it's over. It's just really more fun to watch you flounder than it is to say, no, that's wrong, you lose. So what do you think?
So this is for Apple Music?
This is for Apple Music. Don't look it up.
None of us have Apple Music. So.
Okay, well, there you go.
Chad does.
Yeah, Chad.
Chad.
I want to say, Define the Relationship would be one of them.
That's the top one. See, you're doing well. Michael did this as well. He kind of went in order. This is good.
Sweet.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, that's number 3.
Okay.
Is Reignite up there?
It is. It is number 5.
Number 5. Okay.
So you got 2 left.
Turn the page with Kaleidoscope.
Man, I can tell you haven't been in the band very long because neither one of those.
I'm surprised Kaleidoscope isn't though. Torn?
Yes, that's number 6. So you're missing 2 from the middle. You're missing number 3 and number 4.
Falling for You.
No.
Oh man.
Goodness.
Masquerade?
Yes, that's number 2.
All right.
Wow. Okay.
You're like, I'm rearranging the set list in my head now.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're missing one.
Make a Scene.
Nope.
I'm trying to just think of names of our songs.
It's not just the name of the song, it's the name of a type of song too.
Anthem.
Yes, there you go.
Woo-hoo! Oh yes. I was trying to think. Yeah. I was like, I had the song and but I couldn't think of the name.
You haven't played that one in a while.
I know.
Yeah, I think you need to add it back in, man. It's number 4.
I'm not surprised that's up there.
Yeah. All right.
Well, you guys didn't do too bad. I mean, you like knocked down 3 of the 6 like really quick. So that was good. Cool. Well, now the last question I like to end with, which I think to me is the most revealing and most fun question I've ever come up with. And I love to just lay this at everybody's feet. So from each one of you, despite the fact that you play in a rock and roll band, you guys have the rock and roll look, you play instruments, you sing, it's just cool. But from each one of you, what is the most un-rock and roll thing about you?
Oh my gosh.
I work at a coffee shop. Is that not rock and roll?
What's your favorite drink at the coffee shop?
Right now, I'm kind of liking, and it's not even officially on the menu or anything, but it's like a mocha that's got this Mexican chili syrup in it, so it's like spicy hot chocolate.
Dang it, that's rock and roll.
Wrong.
See, now listeners are going to hate me for bringing this up again, but this is like my standard. When this sort of thing starts happening, there's always this one group that comes to mind. There's a girl group called GFM, or Gold, Frankincense, and Myrrh. I mean, they're all sisters. Yeah. They're really rock and roll, despite the fact that they're kind of girly. But I asked them this question. They could not come up with a single thing that I could not say that is rock and roll. They're like, well, I like to skateboard. I'm like, that's kind of rock and roll. Like, oh, well, we like to color our hair. Like, what color? Purple. That's rock and roll. They're like, oh. So, it's just like everything that came up, they're like, well, I'm sorry. I guess there's nothing un-rock and roll about us. I'm like, yep, you win.
That's great. I do like to sew a little bit.
Oh, okay. All right. Like repairing clothes, making clothes, embroidery.
I don't really get into like making. I've done a little bit of making clothes from scratch. So most of it's like repair or projects and craft stuff. So it's not all that rock and roll. Okay,
I'll accept that. Okay. Who's my next lucky victim? I mean, contestant.
I enjoy playing disc golf.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's one of those things to where to me that's kind of like the sport of a traveling band, because you can take it anywhere and it's portable. And even like I lived in a really small town and it had a really killer disc golf course, so I was told. So I mean, it's nice that it's kind of one of those things that usually somewhere there's a disc golf course, but I'll take it. It's kind of, I guess it's one of those things. The people I knew really nerded out about it too. They're like, oh, I got like the Top Flight 180. It's a $35 disc and it's like going to change my game.
No, that's where we get. I've got about $600 worth of discs.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I think you did sell some of them when we moved twice, because it was like, why are we taking all of these with
us? Yeah. So I guess I do obsess and geek out over the discs and the flight paths and the weights of the discs and all that. So.
Okay, fair enough.
Isaac?
All right. So this past weekend, my wife went down to visit one of her good friends in Georgia.
Okay.
And it was either Wednesday or Thursday of last week. She was getting all ready and whatnot. And she wanted her toes and her feet to look nice for the beach.
Okay.
When she went down and visited. So after work one day, her and I went and got a pedicure with my wife. So I guess that could be kind of un-rock and roll. But it was the first one.
It was relaxing though, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was, it was very, very nice.
All right, man. Fair enough. And I appreciate you. Yes, it does. Absolutely. And I am proud of you for being comfortable enough with your own manhood to be able to do that, to admit to that. That's good.
Have I inspired you now? Are you going to go get one?
Well, see, here's the thing.
Okay.
I have not done that, but I was also the guy who in high school had a convenience store clerk buy me nail polish because I was blackening my fingernails with Sharpies and she felt bad. So I still remember the name of the color. It was electric blue. So it was like,
we've all been there.
Yes. So I was that guy. I gave my sister-in-law tips on mixing her own hair dye. So yeah, I've got some weirdness in my past that has never quite gone as far as being non-DIY in that getting like a pedicure, but I'm not gonna lie and say that the thought has never crossed my mind. So you're all good, man. You're all good. No
Sweet.
shame in that game, man. No shame. No shame. Cool deal. Well, guys, it's been fun getting to chat with you. I am so thrilled to be able to not only play your music, but to be able to now have kind of a little bit more of a relationship, to be able to watch your career, and I hope that it does really well. And of course, if you guys come to Nashville and you do not hit me up for coffee, I'm going to be offended now, and I'm sure that no one else in Nashville knows who you are. So I will totally take it, because everybody knows everybody in Nashville. I mean, if you put out anything, everybody knows you in Nashville. So but I'm more special. That's just all there is to it. I'm more special. So anyway.
All right. We'll have to keep you in mind.
That's good enough. I'll take it. Cool deal. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. It was a blast, and hopefully we'll get a chance to do it again soon. And can't wait to hear what you guys do next.
All right. Thank you for having us. It was fun.
Absolutely.